Sin, you screwed up really, really bad. You used to be an American Patriot. You used to be one of us, but you screwed up. You cost me my heavyweight championship, and I don't forgive that. No, Sin. Tonight, me and you, one-on-one, you're going to find out why I was the Monster Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, the greatest Monster Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, because Rivers delivers.
Monster Pro Wrestling Madness. I'm Martial Art McNeil, the voice of Monster Pro Wrestling, and beside me, riding with the top down, sipping on his gin and juice, the Versace biker, the Ripper. And folks, here at Monster Pro Wrestling, we're holding a tournament over the next couple weeks to determine the new #1 contender to the MPW Heavyweight Championship. Tonight we'll see a couple of those matches in quarterfinal action. But this is more than just business, it's also personal, as last week on Madness, we saw the American Patriots steal a victory from Sin and Johnny Handsome. Well, tonight, Sin and Johnny Handsome will have a chance for revenge. Johnny Handsome will be facing the American Patriot Boris the Bruiser in singles action. Also in another qualifying match, All-American Steve Rivers will be forced to step into the ring with a man who has a heck of a score to scatter with him, Sin. Ripper?
Why you keep changing the subject to wrestling? Don't you know you're on the Versace Biker Show? You started that interview just great, and then you get sidetracked. Man, what are you still doing here? Where's you gone?
Whatever, well, you know what?
Have I threatened you with violence yet today? Because I'm about to.
Well, the night is young, folks. But now let's go right to ringside. We've got a triple threat match set to get underway. Mr. Parental Advisory Heavy Metal, the king of the triple threat match, will be defending his crown against the Sicilian assassin El Nino and the acrobatic psychopath Kamikaze. And Kamikaze has really been making a name for himself with those high-flying, death-defying maneuvers. In fact, we've got a little video package for him. Let's take a look.
Let's get crazy. Crazy. Crazy.
1, 2, 3, 4!
The acrobatic psychopath, Kamikaze. I'm an acrobatic psychopath. We're gonna fly high.
Well, this kid's got more moves than a Rubik's Cube, and he's showing off.
Get up inside my head! Get up inside my head!
And here we go, fans. Ready for some triple threat action. Heavy Metal and Kamikaze extending their hands for a handshake. Did you see that? El Nino spit on his hands. And folks, if you're counting, that's the first Did You See Hear That from Martial Art today. And oh, double chop! Heavy Metal, the king of the triple threat match. Kamikaze, the acrobatic psychopath. And right now, they're working in stereo on El Nino, the Sicilian assassin. And certainly, El Nino, just back from injury fairly recently, he blames a lot of his recent woes on Stevie Saint, his former tag team partner. And you have to wonder how things will shake up there.
Well, Stevie Saint keeps cheating. He always backstabs this guy every chance he gets.
Well, Nino can't blame Stevie Saint for his current troubles. Right now, being knocked around by Heavy Metal, being knocked around by Kamikaze, and hey, there's one for good measure from both of them.
Well, he doesn't just blame Stevie Saint. He blames
and some
you.
air guitar.
It's your commentary that throws him off every time. He can hear you from outside that ring. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful double elbow drop there by Kamikaze and Heavy Metal. And Cam going for the quick cover, and Heavy Metal pulls him off. And folks, we do have to remind you, Kamikaze suffered a knee injury earlier. You saw part of that in that video package, and you have to wonder if that will be slowing down the acrobatic psychopath. And so far, that does not seem to be the case.
Takes a lot to slow this kid down. He can take a beating, keep on ticking.
Sure does. Well, we're going to test that theory right now as Heavy Metal and Kamikaze exchange chops. And you know, for Kamikaze, he has to be careful on that knee. So much of his offense depends on that agility, on that speed. And with his knee, I mean, he's effectively cut in half.
He's trying to slap him silly here. Oh, and another one. I love it. Oh! You know how he feels right now? Because you're gonna.
Heavy Metal, the current #1 contender for Knight's Junior Heavyweight Championship, although he hasn't yet covered it. And here we have a quick roll up. No! Heavy Metal able to power out of that one, and then drives the foot into Kamikaze. And El Nino takes another spill on the outside. A roll up by Kamikaze. Still not enough. Action fast and furious here. Thank you so much for joining us here on Monster Pro Wrestling Madness. Take a look at El Nino on the outside. Heavy Metal and Kamikaze trading exchanges on the inside. Kick and a DDT.
Oh,
And Heavy
that's
Metal.
gonna leave a mark.
Heavy Metal just planting the acrobatic psychopath, and El Nino just slips in out of nowhere.
Well, that looked like it hurt to me. He drove his head right into that mat. I think he tore the mask right off this kid.
And as we said earlier, Heavy Metal is the #1 contender to Knight's Junior Heavyweight Championship. Knight will actually be defending that title next week against Stevie Saint. Why Heavy Metal hasn't got his title shot yet, I don't know. If Knight's ducking him or if Heavy Metal's waiting for a better opportunity. And oh, right now, El Nino had an opportunity to feel a side slam. And this one could be, no.
See, these guys got the right idea. He's got some face paint. The other one's wearing a mask. You could take some advice from those guys. You know, a mask might improve your gimmick. Maybe you might even get a date.
A paper bag over your head might improve your gimmick. Another cover there by Heavy Metal.
This ain't a
And
gimmick.
again-
This is a real thing.
El Nino able to kick out, and you give credit where credit is due. El Nino is a tough hombre.
No, you're giving me credit. Keep it up. Don't change the subject. Right away, you want to talk about wrestling again. Don't you forget you're on the Versace Biker Show.
Watch the match.
Think about
El
where you
Nino
are.
going for a cover. Heavy Metal able to get a foot on the ropes. Kamikaze on the outside. I didn't get a good look if he's favoring that knee or not.
Oh, look at the marks on his chest. Is that a handprint or is that a little face paint?
Kamikaze back in the ring now, setting up
Oh!
a nice drop kick there by the acrobatic psychopath. And if he's feeling pain in his knee, I don't see it there. Look at El Nino just clutching his head. And
Well, the
Kamikaze
adrenaline's
needs to
kicked in
follow
now.
up quickly.
When that adrenaline kicks in, you don't feel much for pain.
Reversal there by El Nino as he tries to post
Oh!
up. Oh no!
I could be wrong.
And we spoke too soon. It looks like Kamikaze tweaked that knee again. And look at El Nino. Just like a shark smelling blood, he goes right after that injured limb.
Oh, he's all over him like cheap Mac Tag.
Blindsided by Heavy Metal. And these 3 triple threat matches are so dangerous. You have to have eyes in the back of your head. Heavy Metal just about took El Nino's head off, and the referee was checking on Kamikaze. Didn't see it.
That knee is hurt.
And boy, oh boy, Heavy Metal. Stroke of bad luck for him there. He had this match won. The referee was checking on Kamikaze. Heavy Metal, though, not giving up, going for a sunset flip. And this time El Nino able to get the shoulder up. And now he's able to take out Heavy Metal down.
Well, what's he doing here? He's looking around. He should have covered him. He's got to do something. He can't play to the crowd. You want to win. You want to
Well,
get
he's
on
covering him
these
right
guys.
now. Referee in position.
Look at him,
Again,
ref a
only
little
a 2
slow on
count.
this count.
El Nino sneaking another stomp in there, and now, oh man!
That's why they call him the Sicilian Assassin. He sees an injury, he's on it, he's not gonna stop. Oh! He's gonna tear this knee right out of this kid. He's gonna tear it off.
And that's exactly what you can do. And boy, this is the sort of thing that can really shorten careers here in Monster Pro Wrestling and anything. I mean, there's a lot of delicate tendons, delicate ligaments in those knees. And for someone like Kamikaze, who's just starting out his career, I mean, you just don't want to take any chances.
Well, that would be a big plus for the Sicilian Assassin. He wants to take this kid out. That'll be on his resume after I got rid of this kid. He's done, thanks to me.
El Nino dominating on Heavy Metal now. Takes him down. And you're right, the Sicilian Assassin just picks apart his opponents. As we see Kamikaze trying to get back to his feet, really limping. And look at El Nino, he's choking Heavy Metal on the ropes.
Hey, get your finger out of your nose here. We're on TV. You gotta learn to act like a
Oh,
professional.
did you see that? El Nino taking out the leg again.
Here, you want a breath mint? This might help your career here a little bit. You know, people might
Wait,
want to
wait,
work
wait,
with
wait. Watch El Nino now setting Kamikaze up and just the Sicilian Assassin just using every part of the ring, using the post, using his feet, using the ropes. Boy, oh boy. El Nino, the Sicilian Assassin, does not miss a trick.
Well, he does want to beat this kid up. I think he wants to get rid of him. He doesn't like him very much.
El Nino may be taking out some of the frustrations he feels towards Stevie Saint on Kamikaze and Heavy Metal.
Do you think
Look at
this
that
beef
headbutt.
could be a little personal too, or is this just a wrestling match being professionals? I think it's a little deeper than this here.
I think everything is personal here in Monster Pro Wrestling, but look at this! Double flapjack! And El Nino mashed right into the mat.
These guys trying to get fired up, trying to get the crowd behind them.
Everybody down, see who crawls from the wreckage first.
It looks like a car wreck out there.
Again, Kamikaze back on his feet, but again favoring that leg as he takes down Heavy Metal with the lariat. And now El Nino goes down as well. But again, is it enough?
This kid won't quit. One leg and he's still going to the air.
Kamikaze fighting on one leg, and you can see him clutching that knee, but he's running on adrenaline now. But you have to wonder, will this be enough to win the match? Did you see that? Nice spin kick. El Nino knows that kick well. He's used it himself in the past. And now Kamikaze setting him up. Suplex perhaps. Yes. Nice move. And a float over. Referee slightly out of position, but this could... And again, Heavy Metal able to get the shoulder up.
Where is this kid getting all this fight from?
I don't know, but you have to have a lot of fight if you're going to thrive in the junior heavyweight division here at Monster Pro Wrestling.
In any division in Monster Pro Wrestling.
Kamikaze now sliding out to the outside, taking out some frustrations on El Nino, the Sicilian assassin.
Oh, now they're taking this fight to the outside.
Sure, but I don't think you want to leave Heavy Metal unattended. Look at this. Trouble at 12 o'clock.
Oh my God! Did he hit his head on the cement? There's no giving that.
Heavy Metal out of nowhere. Coming straight down on El Nino and Kamikaze.
And you got to know that chain link or that steel steps out there. Something's going to come into play here.
Sure is.
Look at this. These
All
guys
three
won't
men
quit.
trying to get to their feet. Heavy Metal now, he's got a hold of the acrobatic psychopath.
Oh, he had to beat the count. He wants to win this in the ring here.
And a cover by Heavy Metal.
He wants that share of the winner's purse here. He knows you get a double count out, no one's getting paid. Just like you.
I don't know that there are countouts in a triple threat match.
Have you seen the size of the checks I've been getting from Monster Pro? I got a huge raise. They love me here.
Heavy Metal going to the top. El Nino, I think, sees the problem here.
Look at this.
And he sends him off.
Man, he shoved his hand right up there.
El Nino, again, going for the leg.
He was in deep on that one. I got
Setting up DDT. Oh, did you see him? He just planted Kamikaze. Then for a little, he's been working on that knee of Kamikaze. And then for a little bit of variety, a little bit of spice, he planted him with the DDT. And I think you're going to have to roll him over if you're going to pin him, El Nino.
He's going to have the Excedrin headache number 5
there
after
we
this.
see garlic press by El Nino. Nets him 2.
That's the pasta press.
And going for another one. And El Nino going for lateral press after lateral press. But what he should be doing is paying attention to Heavy Metal. He kicks him in the breadbasket. And here we go. Metal meltdown perhaps. Setting him up. And he hits it.
This could be it. Cover him.
This is it. All Heavy Metal needs to do is make a cover here. And what's Heavy Metal maybe a bit disoriented.
I don't know. I think he's having
Kamikaze
flashbacks of guitar shots to the head.
Kamikaze dumps him onto the outside.
Oh, he missed it. Look at him now.
Heavy Metal down. Kamikaze clutching that knee. Boy, oh boy, all three of these men will be feeling this one for some time. Kamikaze saying he wants to go up top. Don't know if that's a good idea at this point in the match, especially with that bum knee. We'll have to see.
Look at this.
Kamikaze's going to try it anyway.
This kid's unbelievable. No!
And there it is. Cam Star Splash.
There's Heavy Metal creeping in the
And
back.
this one's it. No, Heavy Metal out of nowhere.
What a save.
Oh, and what a lariat.
Oh, he turned that around in a hurry.
Heavy Metal back in the ring,
Look at
going
this.
for the cover.
3, and
And he
that's
catches
it. Heavy Metal.
Still the king of the triple threat match. Heavy Metal, and still the #1 contender for the junior heavyweight title. And Ruggs, we're going to have to see if, hopefully get some word on whether Kamikaze is okay, as we see a very frustrated El Nino making his way out.
We'll be right back, folks. Okay, we're back.
Folks, we are back. This is a quarterfinal match in our tournament to determine the new #1 contender for the Monster Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. And the man you're looking at right now is Johnny Handsome. And wait a minute, Boris the Bruiser of the American Patriots hits him from behind.
Johnny Handsome, the guy who most resembles the Versace biker. You know what? If this guy had a couple tattoos, he could be my stunt double.
Sure could. Boris the Bruiser, the latest member of the American Patriots, hitting him from behind. But look at this. Johnny Handsome sends him to the outside.
Boris the Bruiser, I couldn't tell if he hit that chain link from this angle, but if he did, I'll tell you, it's going to hurt. That'll rip you open, that stuff. You'll be bleeding all over the place.
Johnny Handsome going right out after him the hard way and taking down Boris the Bruiser.
The size of this guy, and he can fly.
He sure is. Johnny Handsome, definitely the total package, as is his tag team partner, Sin. Both of them extremely upset with the American Patriots. We saw again last week at Madness. We saw the way the American Patriots, well, you saw what they did, hitting Sin from behind with a chair, and then sneaking away with that victory when it was clear that Sin and Johnny Handsome were the winners in that tag team action.
Hey, why you always got to badmouth Steve Rivers? Don't you know he's the greatest thing that ever happened to Monster Pro Wrestling?
Steve Rivers is a bad, bad man. And now Boris the Bruiser, back in control of this match.
Have you seen Steve Rivers' criminal record? He's lucky he can even get across the border to come here and wrestle. You know that, eh?
I think you might need a fact checker on that one. And look at Boris the Bruiser, strangling Johnny Handsome. And you won't see a lot of scientific acumen from Boris the Bruiser. Just fists and elbows and knees and a little choking for good measure.
That's a good move right there. Distract the referee and choke him at the same time. That's brilliant. You could take a note.
Well, if you want to look for ways to cheat, certainly you can take notes from the American Patriots.
It's only cheating if you get caught.
Well, he's perfectly caught there. I don't know what the referee's doing.
Well, Johnny Handsome, he's choked right now.
Here comes Boris the Bruiser again, and Johnny Handsome has been fighting from underneath almost this entire match, except for that brief flurry of offense early.
Well, he said he's willing to put his neck on the line anytime for Monster Pro Wrestling.
But Johnny Handsome, trying to fight back, and Boris the Bruiser going through the knees. And boy, Boris the Bruiser certainly has been learning tricks from the American Patriots. Just a textbook way of breaking the rules.
And he's got the patented Steve Rivers headband. I love it.
And speaking of Steve Rivers, we'll see him in action later on tonight as he takes on Sin. And boy, I'm looking forward to that match, and so is Sin.
Sinner here tonight, he's looking like $1 million in the back. He's fired up. He wants to come out here and do some damage tonight.
But now
try and
Johnny
make a name
Handsome
for
is
himself.
fighting out of it. Johnny Handsome coming off the ropes. Sunset flip. He's got him. 1, 2.
Holy, he could have countered that with something, I'll tell you.
And Boris the Bruiser is just so long, he can't keep his shoulders down. But that would certainly take Johnny Handsome down as Boris floors him with a clothesline.
How tall do you think this Boris is? He's got to be 6'6".
He's pretty tall. I'll check my notes.
You do that. And in the meantime, I'm going to do the job here. You got to get this camera back on me. I'm looking like $1 million today myself.
Looking like $1 million, $1 million pesos maybe. $1 million yen.
$1 million yen?
Close fist, blatant close fist. I don't know who this referee is, but
I don't know, man, but I got a few things that I want to call him. I don't know if I can say it on TV, though, so I'm going to bite my tongue right now. First time ever in my career.
Boris the Bruiser, really, I mean, he's an athletic guy. He's young, he's strong, he's tall. He doesn't need to take these cheap shots. He doesn't need to cheat.
But you're in there with Johnny Handsome. You got to do whatever you can do to try and get a victory over this guy.
That's true. Johnny Handsome is a great competitor, but really Boris the Bruiser has all the skills. He doesn't need to be hanging out with the American Patriots. He doesn't need to be wearing that ridiculous headband.
More to come, folks. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Monster Pro Wrestling Live. Boris the Bruiser, Johnny Handsome.
Boris the Bruiser still in control.
And the Versace biker at ringside, carrying this show, the weight of Monster Pro on his back.
And look at this. Johnny Handsome with the Hurricane Rana takes Boris the Bruiser over. A desperation maneuver. And could this be the turning point?
Well, it could be. You never know what's going to happen here. Johnny Handsome trying to get fired up.
Handsome down. Bruiser trying to clear the cobwebs.
He's in some pain. He's took a real beating here tonight at the hands of the Bruiser. He won't quit, though. He'll never quit on you. And he still looks like the Versace biker. Look at this guy. I'm starting to like him.
Johnny Handsome and Boris the Bruiser exchanging pleasantries in the center of the ring. And Johnny Handsome starting to gain some momentum. The Bruiser off the ropes. Back elbow by Johnny Handsome. Bruiser back on his feet. And a clothesline by Johnny Handsome.
Well, he hit him with that elbow. That elbow's the
And
second
now a
hardest
drop
part
kick.
of the body.
Beautiful drop kick there by Johnny Handsome.
He's trying to knock the taste right out of his mouth with
And
that
all of a
elbow.
sudden things are starting to turn around. And Boris the Bruiser's in a lot of trouble. He slams him down. 1, 2.
Back to that
I
elbow.
thought that would have been it for sure.
You know that elbows are banned in some leagues, right? Not here in Monster Pro. It's as legal as a headlock.
There aren't a lot of moves that are banned in Monster Pro Wrestling, but if there are, the American Patriots know all of them. Backbreaker by Johnny Handsome.
Do we even have a banned move yet? I can't even think of one myself.
Johnny Handsome signaling he's going to go up top. Just a quick stomp to the face for good measure, and why not? And there we
Look
see
at
it.
this!
Second rope moonsault.
That's agility.
And that's not just agility, that's the end of this match. Johnny Handsome, a come from behind victory, and he'll advance to the semifinals here in this tournament tonight. Folks, still to come, Steve Rivers and Sin. We'll get to that in just a few short moments.
Not only handsome, but he can wrestle too.
And it looks like Johnny Handsome isn't quite finished with Boris the Bruiser.
Oh, he's still mad.
Helping him out of the ring.
Get out of here, you punk, he said. This is my time. I want to shine a little bit. Giving him the big thumbs down.
Thumbs down to the American Patriots, and boy, I'm with Johnny Handsome on that one.
More to come, more to come.
AJ Sanchez trying to get under Big Jess's skin, and here we go. Finally, they tie up. The humanity. Nobody going anywhere here in the early going. AJ Sanchez and Big Jess just about even for strength and power. So we're going to have to wonder, both of them going to have to maybe see what else we can do. Maybe go for quickness, but look at this. AJ Sanchez asking for another test of strength, the knuckle lock. Although we've seen this end badly for people on numerous occasions. But look at this. Big Jess so far powering away at AJ Sanchez. And by the look on AJ Sanchez's face, I don't think he was expecting this kind of strength from Big Jess.
These guys are about dead even in every department.
AJ Sanchez shoving Big Jess away before he can be humiliated further. Big Jess reminding people that he's bigger than AJ.
Well, he knows everyone forgets his name
And look
after.
at this nice amateur takeover by AJ Sanchez. AJ Sanchez going to some wrestling, but look at this! The counter by Big Jess, and Big Jess says, hey, if you want to wrestle, we can do that too. Have a face full of hammerlock.
A face full of... What's on your mind, you sick freak? See, I told you.
Wrestling's on my mind. And Sanchez now making his way from the wrist lock to the side headlock. And Big Jess fighting his way out. Sanchez off the ropes. Ooh, a collision there, nobody moving.
I'm surprised the ring can even hold these guys.
That's a lot of beef, that's a lot of bulk. And oh, that's a lot of backdrop as AJ Sanchez comes down from quite a great height. And that's the downside of having all that weight, having all that mass. When it falls and when it hits the mat, it hurts.
So would you say he got it up there?
I'm not going to dignify you with a response. In fact, I don't even think I'm going to talk to you anymore. I think I'm just going to pretend you're not here. You look at the little massage going on, and you think your little thoughts, and you keep them to yourself. And wait a minute, Big Jess is up on the corner. Are we going to see Big Jess? Holy smoke! Big Jess trying to fly. AJ Sanchez catches him, though, and drives him right into the steel turnbuckle. And Big Jess there, perhaps making a mistake from inexperience, getting away from what brought him to the dance, trying to take to the air instead of using that power. And wait a minute, what's AJ going to try here? And oh, Johnny Wise Guy, some kicks to the kidneys, some punches to the back.
I think
Get
his
him out
back
of there.
was on fire. He was just trying to put it out.
His back was on
Some
fire.
of these fans were smoking a little close, and when you're drinking as much beer as Big Jess, it gets a little combustible.
Right. That's exactly what was happening in Smurfland. Big Jess back. I think AJ Sanchez just going for a lateral press. Big Jess throws him off. And we said earlier, Johnny Wise Guy could be the X factor in this match. He's made his presence felt so far. AJ Sanchez, meanwhile, in control here. But look, Big Jess fighting back, and that's just pure determination. That's just pure willpower. And that's just another rake to the eyes. What's wrong with DJ Roy? Get in there, disqualify him. Give him a yellow card. Put him in the, double clothesline. Owie.
No one gave an inch there, man. That's like 700 pounds.
On a scale of 1 to 10, that was a big ouch. Both men flat on their backs on the canvas.
Well, the referee cutting these big guys a little bit of slack.
TJ Roy counting. I don't know if either of them can get up after that. That was a rather estimable collision.
Well, it's going to leave a mark. Those guys will be feeling that for about a month.
Leave a mark on the ring. Wait a minute, they just neck breaker by. Oh, double neck breaker. Great minds think alike. And both men down again. Roy getting a lot of chances to practice his counting tonight.
Our ringside doctor's gonna have his work cut out for him tonight.
That's Johnny Wiseguy, urging AJ Sanchez to his feet.
Did we mention that Wise Guy's the ringside doctor?
I don't think he has a degree.
He has a PhD in psychology as well.
Oh, really?
He
I didn't
does.
see that.
Oh!
And Big Jazz with a PhD and
Some
punches
shots
to the face.
mouth. Some.
Oh, did you see AJ Sanchez turn inside out by that running lariat? And oh, I can't believe that wasn't it. And man, oh man, what a match! What a night this has been so far.
Well,
Everybody's
thanks a
really
lot.
giving it their all here at Aggression. And there's that big battle royal coming up. We still got that no disqualification match, as well as that junior heavyweight. What a slam by Big Jess. I felt that from here. I think my feelings are vibrated loose.
I'm gonna leave that one alone too.
I dare you! I dare you! Big Jess splash! No!
You just want me to take, don't you? Well, why do you keep opening it up then? You just walk right into him.
We're gonna have to record this whole thing again, and it's all your fault. AJ Sanchez heading, looks like he wants to go upstairs, taking a lot of time though. And we've seen earlier with Darren the Bomb Dalton that it's not a good idea to take your time, especially with someone like Big Jess. Big Jess, so powerful, so resilient. AJ Sanchez gonna fly, but nobody home. Boy, I'd like to say I didn't see that coming.
I don't know how this ring is holding up.
That's a good point. We may have to stop and have a ring crew fix the ring up with all the weight these guys are throwing down on it. AJ Sanchez is a long way down, and now Big Jess. Maybe he's gonna try, but AJ Sanchez on his feet. AJ Sanchez
he got
having
caught.
none of it. Yeah, you can say that again, Big Jess. Chop right to the chest. And I think Big Jess pretty much summed up what everyone was feeling with that. A vicious chop by AJ Sanchez. And AJ Sanchez now thinking it over. I don't think he's gonna. You don't think he's gonna go for some kind of maneuver of the second?
This guy is nuts.
Big Jess, desperation,
Oh!
fighting out of it. Boy, you didn't want that to see that happen.
Get out of the way, ref.
Get out of the way, everybody. Johnny Wise Guy on the outside, grabbing the ankle of Big Jess.
He tried to help him down there.
Tried to help him down, he tripped him up. Big Jess was going for the Big Jess splash, and Johnny Wise Guy, once again, inserting himself in the match.
No, he's trying to tell him to be careful because he might slip off that rope, which he did.
I'd like to see Johnny Wise Guy get his just desserts. You gotta get him away from ringside. This is unbelievable.
That's
Big
that
Jess had the
PhD I was
white
telling you
gun.
about.
PhD in chicanery, perhaps.
Well, he is one of the smartest guys.
Wait a
in
minute,
Monster
small
Pro.
package by Big Jess. 1, 2, 3. He got him! Big Jess out of nowhere picks the pocket of AJ Sanchez. And this crowd going absolutely nuts. And hey, Johnny Wise Guy's going nuts too, but couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
You've been gone a long time, and tonight I have a test for you to prove your loyalty.
All right, I'll prove my loyalty to you guys.
Sin, you used to be an American patriot, but you screwed up big time, and we don't tolerate that.
Steve Rivers, you think for 1 minute you're gonna get away with anything like you did last time? Opening me up with a chair, 29 stitches, brother. Never gonna happen. Four of these guys it takes, 4 of them. It's not over. I'll be back.
I'm gonna make you see the biggest mistake of your life, because Rivers delivers.
It seems that every time I turn around here in Monster Pro Wrestling, Sin is getting screwed over every time by the American Patriots. Darren Dalton, Steve Rivers, you ambush me, you jump me from behind, you split my head open and send me to the hospital. That's all good, that's all fine and well. I come back, I call Mike Mad Dog McFly. I bring him in. I've known this guy 9 years, McFly. I've known you 9 years. We've been up and down a lot of roads, brother. And what happens? You turn on me. You turn on me like a rabid dog. Take me out. Bust me up. Send me packing. That's all good, bro. I got Steve Rivers, the All-American, in the ring tonight. You and me, buddy. Face to face. I get you in the ring. You sign the contract. Now you got to deal with the sin in the ring. You step in there with me, and no one's going to be able to ruin my fun by calling 911.
Strong words from Sin, and boy, he has a right to be upset with Steve Rivers.
Well, they call him the spinner in the background in the locker room because you never know when this guy's going to snap. Just like me, he could blow a gasket any minute and just squeeze your neck, pop your head right off.
Sin, one of the most dangerous men in Monster Pro Wrestling, especially when his ire is roused, and boy, he's a little upset with Steve Rivers right now. He's a little upset with Mad Dog McFly. There, you got to look at him helping Steve Rivers out. I don't know what's McFly doing out here. He's not a manager. He doesn't have a manager's license. He doesn't need to be in Rivers' corner. Folks, you're watching our main event here on Monster Pro Wrestling Madness. I'm Martial Art McNeil. Beside me is the Ripper. And right now, Steve Rivers really taking his time here, getting started against Sin.
Did you call me the...
No, I did not. I get the names right, unlike you.
Why you keep spitting on me? Didn't I tell you I
Hey,
already
cheap
ate?
shot by Steve Rivers, and Sin going right after him. But look, McFly now, trying to surprise him from behind.
Look at this.
It's like turnabout spear play.
Oh, it takes him
And a
down.
drop toe hold by Sin. And wait a minute, Sin, a 2-for-1 special by the Sinner.
That was great. The big splash.
Oh, that's great. I'm ecstatic. Folks, those American Patriots have had that coming to them for a long time, and I can't wait to see what Sin does to them next. Hip toss there by Sin, and now McFly off the ropes. Hip toss, another one by Sin. McFly, Sin's former friend, turned against him thanks to Steve Rivers, the All-American.
I think he's had it with these guys out here. He wants to throw him around. Look at this.
I think
everyone's fly to the outside.
I think everyone's had it with these American Patriots.
Steve Rivers arm drag takedown from the spinner.
And
He's
that-
losing his mind. He's had it. Now he's trying to tear that arm right off him.
Sin holding on to that arm. Notice him putting the knee in there for a little added pressure, letting Steve Rivers' jaw feel a little pain as well.
When you're 250 plus pounds, you grab a guy by the arm like that, you can tear that arm right off.
Now a knee to the ribs.
Oh, he's trying to pop that shoulder out. He's digging deep here.
Well, can you blame him after what we've seen from All-American Steve Rivers? After what we've seen from Mad Dog McFly? After what we've seen from the American Patriots? Sin has every right to be upset.
And look, McFly out here. Those gears are turning. He's going to think of something he always does.
And look at the expression on Steve Rivers' face. He is in a whole lot of pain here.
You know, I've always wondered,
And Sin isn't done yet. He drops the knee.
how does Steve Rivers get that headband to stay on? He must use some glue.
I'm just amazed at the thoughts that cross your mind sometimes, Ripper. I
Hey,
really
your
am.
false teeth spit out that comment there. You better put them back in and get with the program. You ever heard of polygrip?
Steve Rivers, Sin, locking up. Steve Rivers trying to fight his way out of the arm lock. Sin with the counter. Wait a minute, what are we going to see here? Oh my goodness, look at this. Sin up on the top. Springboards
Oh, my
around.
God.
Goes for the lariat.
I can't believe the agility of this
Rivers
guy.
had that move scouted, but again, Sin with another reversal into a roll-up, and no, not quite enough.
McFly looking to help him out from the outside. He's shouting some words of encouragement. Oh! Steve Rivers turned him inside out. He turned this match around. You turned your back on him for 1 second, and he could put the lights out.
And that's true. I was going to talk about Sin, how he looks big, he's strong, but he's also so athletic, so agile, but you can never discount the All-American Steve Rivers. So crafty in that ring. The veteran, he just lulls you to sleep almost, and he knows every dirty trick. And look, he's showing us one right now.
And he's loving it. He's having a
Isn't
little
that
fun
nice?
at the expense of the
Oh,
spinner.
Rivers claiming he's just massaging the throat of Sin. I don't know if that's true. I'd like to see Steve Rivers if he has a shiatsu license.
He does, actually, he does. He's a man of many talents. You'd be surprised what this guy can
And
do.
what do you call that? Come
Well,
on.
they're working on that neck. You know, he had a little bit of a sore throat. They want to get the best out of this guy. They don't want an easy fight. They want to warm him up, get that adrenaline flow, and then they can beat him up and say that they beat him at his best.
Well, they're certainly warming up Sin here, and if they're not careful, he might overheat and take his red, fiery, hot rage out on the American Patriots.
Well, even the Mad Dog is out there trying to help him out. Give him some words of encouragement, telling him, come on, Spinner, you can do it. Don't quit yet. We want to beat you up some more, because that's what we do.
Backbreaker by All-American Steve Rivers, but Sin able to get the shoulder up. And Rivers starting to cry and whine, as he is known to do. That's why we call him Steve Cry Me a Rivers.
I think he knows he could have won this match at any time. He just wants to have a little bit of fun here. And I can't blame him. It's nice being on
Won this
TV.
match at any time? I don't think so. Sin firing back with those forearms. Sin off the ropes. And oh no, Rivers in. Steve Rivers taking him down. He can hit that crossface from any position. And once he does, the match is usually over.
Oh, and he's pouring it on.
It looks like Sin might be eliminated from this tournament here tonight.
Oh, that's why they were massaging his neck earlier. He didn't want to break it. He just wants to stretch him out. He wants him to feel the pain from this here.
And look at Sin fighting the crossface. The only person I've seen break out of the Rivers End crossface is Massive Damage, the MPW champion.
That's a serious allegation. No one's ever got out of the river crossface, ever.
Well, maybe you should take a look at your Madness DVD, available at www.monsterprowrestling.com, and you'll see what I saw. And look at Sin crawling for the ropes.
DVD? We got DVDs out?
Certainly do.
Why hasn't no one brought this to my attention here?
Wait a minute, Sin gets his foot across the ropes, and Rivers forced to break the hold.
Where do I get those DVDs?
And Sin has just bought himself a little time, but with 2-on-1, the odds are certainly against him. Rivers distracting the referee, and Mad Dog McFly earning his namesake, going to town like a rabid Rottweiler.
Look at these fans. They want to smash this guy in the head with a bottle outside the ring here. Even the fans want to get into the fight. They love it.
Monster Pro Wrestling has some of the best fans in the world.
Some of the best looking fans in the world.
Thank you for joining us here at Monster Pro Wrestling.
Oh, and I love it when it spills to the outside.
Down on the outside, and Mad Dog McFly. What, is he helping him up? Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh, I hope he smashes him into the chain link. No, he let him slide this time.
And Rivers going for a thoroughly undeserved cover, and it can't, and it doesn't end that way.
Oh, that was
Sin
close.
able to get the shoulder up.
Very close.
Well, Rivers didn't hook the leg, and he paid for it. Rivers getting a little cocky and confident, and that's one of the
Look at this neck breaker. Oh! He's been working on that neck all night. He's trying to soften it up for that Rivers End.
And it could.
He's going to try and take this victory. I could smell it. I could smell the Rivers End coming a mile away. Can you?
Well, Sin's fighting a good fight, but certainly you have to ask yourself, how much can one man take?
Actually, I do smell something, and I think that's what's
Wait a
coming
minute,
out of your
wait a
backside.
minute, roll up by Sin, and Sin nearly picking Steve Rivers' pocket there. Desperation maneuver, but how much does he have left as Rivers drops the elbow across the small of the back?
I don't know if that's gas coming out of you or your breath, but something sure stinks
Look at
around
Rivers
here.
working the face.
Speaking of work in the face, you need some work on your face. You ever heard of cosmetic surgery?
Steve Rivers doing everything he possibly can to win this match, but he can't seem to put Sin away. Sin, such a fighter, so resilient, and now Mad Dog McFly helping him out some more.
He's trying to massage that neck. He's telling him, don't give up yet, my man. Don't give up yet. You're doing good here. You're almost holding your own against Steve Rivers.
I don't think that's what happened. I don't know what match you're watching.
Here's another guy that said he's willing to put his neck on the line anytime for Monster Pro Wrestling.
Steve Rivers going for another cover. Again, really lazy, and again, Sin able to get that foot across the ropes. This time, Rivers hooks the leg, learns from his mistake, and Sin again able to power out. But that kick out was a lot weaker than ones we've seen previously. You have to wonder how much gas is left in the Sinner's tank.
Hey, can I ask you, who let the dogs out? Who? Hey, there's my phone. I gotta take this call. I'm the Versace biker.
All right, well, you go take the call, and I'll watch Sin making a comeback. Rivers off the ropes. Sin drops down, and no! Rivers in! Rivers in! And Steve Rivers can hit that move from anywhere, and now he's got it on for the second time in this match.
He wants to break that neck of the spinner.
Sure does, but Sin, fortunately able to get his hands up a little bit, able to relieve some of the pressure, but it could only be a matter of time before this one is over.
Oh, and you see the pain etched on the face of the spinner.
Rivers leaning back on it with all his strength, and Sin forced to release so he can crawl towards the ropes. Darned if you do, darned if you don't.
He's pouring
Now
on
going
the pressure.
And that's the thing, what do? Do you crawl for the ropes, or do you try to break the hold?
You tap out, that's what you do. You call it a night.
Well, that may very well be what has to happen here for Sin. But again, Sin inching towards those ropes. He's almost there. Come on, Sin. Come on, he's got it.
I love how he digs that forearm, that
Steve
bone in
Rivers
front
not
of his wrist, right into his teeth, right into his nose. He's trying to cut off the oxygen at the
Steve
same
Rivers
time.
not breaking the hold right off and now kicking away. And Steve Rivers getting a few extra seconds of pain in on Sin.
Oh, and a stomp to the lips. Look at this, look at this.
And now
He's working
clawing
on
in
the
the face
nose.
some more.
He tattooed him right in the face with that kick. I see a big footprint on his head right now.
Snap suplex by the All-American Steve Rivers.
Size 12 right to the forehead. Oh, and the knee!
Following up with that knee, we've seen that move before.
Oh, he needed that. He did. He loves it.
Rivers completely in control here, and you have to wonder how much more can Sin take.
And you gotta love a guy like Mad Dog outside, always taking the time to shake a few babies and kiss a few hands.
I don't think I have to love him at all.
He's out there signing autographs. What a tremendous athlete.
Sin using the ropes, trying to get to his feet. Steve Rivers also using the ropes, but for a completely different and more diabolical purpose. And did Mad Dog McFly just poke Sin in the eyes? Oh,
Look at this ref here. He's doing a great job. I love this guy.
yeah, well, you are looking at the ref. Mad Dog McFly is choking Sin on the ropes, and low blow, I think.
Who
Yeah,
let the
laugh it
dogs
up,
out?
laugh it up.
Look at this. Oh, belly to back.
High impact move by Steve Rivers. And look at Sin just crawling for the ropes. He can barely stand.
He's not going to stop working on that neck. He won't quit.
But again, Sin able to get his foot over the ropes, and you have to know what Sin is thinking. There's nothing Steve Rivers wants more than another shot at that Monster Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, and Sin would be delighted, not just to win the championship for himself, but to keep Steve Rivers out of the hunt. After all Steve Rivers has done to him, that would be sweet, sweet revenge indeed for Sin. Unfortunately, at this point, that does not look like it's going to happen.
Well, that tattoo on the back of the spinner says it all. It says pro pain. He's a pro, and he's in pain.
American whip to the turnbuckles by Steve Rivers. What's he going to follow up with here? Look at that. Sin just glassy-eyed. He's practically out on his feet, and if I'm the referee, I might start thinking about stopping this thing.
He's always out on his feet.
Second American whip. What's Rivers do? Rivers just
Rivers
toying.
has a formula here, and he's sticking with it. He's got a strategy, and he's not letting up.
At this point, he's just toying with Sin, it seems like.
And the spinner, he's drooling.
And I
He's
think-
loving the work that this guy's doing. Look at that.
Look at McFly going back at it, and folks, I think we've seen this song a few times tonight.
We'll be right back.
American Patriots absolutely sickening. And look, Sin still managing to fight back.
And he's telling that referee, when you count,
And
for
there
me,
we
you gotta
go!
count. You
Mad
gotta count
Dog-
an American.
Oh yeah, well, Mad Dog McFly meet the turnbuckle, courtesy of Sin. But Rivers takes advantage to attack from behind.
Oh, and they were right out here by the Canadian announce table. That was a great view. I love it.
Steve Rivers stalking Sin around the ring. Sin managing to get back in.
He hit him so hard, I seen sweat just flying into the 15th row here. Or was that teeth? I couldn't tell from this angle.
Steve Rivers lowering the boom on Sin.
Maybe we could get a close-up of the spinner's mouth and see
And
how many teeth Rivers did knock out of his face.
Maybe true, but if one thing's for sure,
It was like you earlier when your false teeth went flying. We should get him some of your poly grip.
well, if there's one thing that we can be said, if we saw Mad Dog McFly take a bit of a tumble, maybe that will give Sin a little bit of an opportunity to have a fair match here. But Steve Rivers just lowering those closed fists on the forehead of Sin. But really, if Sin's going to have an opportunity, it's going to be now. And wait a minute, Sin has just, using that strength, brought himself to the top rope. And
Skid the
springboard,
canvas! Oh
missile
my
drop kick.
God! Where does this guy find this fight after the beating he took?
Sin digging down, using that adrenaline, using that agility, and going for a lateral press. Could this be all? Wait, no! McFly! McFly again! Pulling the referee out of the ring.
Well, he's trying to tell us
That's got to be a disqualification.
this ref doesn't know how to count an American.
This is ridiculous. Rivers again off the ropes, and did you see the elevation Sin got on that back elbow?
Handsome and Sinner, they've been using those elbows a
And
lot.
that's it. 1, 2, no, Rivers able to get the shoulder up.
Oh, it takes a lot more than that to pin the All-American.
This match should be over.
You'll never get him with that. These guys got to go back to the drawing board and remember where they are.
Here
This
comes
Monster
Sin!
Oh, and a big splash.
And now we
Look at
see
this.
another
Two.
cover.
There's an American count. That's what I'm talking about. This guy's learning. He's learning.
Sin lacking the strength to hook the leg, and that might have been the turning point for him. Otherwise, he would have had this thing won. Both men, though, exhausted. And how much longer can this match go on?
See, the ref, he's still counting in American here. Now he's learning. Now he's starting to get with the program around Monster Pro Wrestling.
All right, I think you've done that joke to death. Can we move on,
It's
please?
not a joke. I'm telling you straight.
Wait a minute. Enziguri, no. Rivers
this.
ducks the Enziguri and goes back to the River's End. And
You're
will the
right. He
third
can
time-
catch you anytime, anywhere he wants to.
And will the third time be a charm for All-American Steve Rivers? And Sin's right in the middle of the ring, and I don't think there's no way he can go from here.
How much of this can the spinner take? Look at this. He's reefing on that neck again. He's trying to bust it. He wants to break it. He wants to put him out of wrestling for good.
Steve Rivers pulling back on the neck, pulling back on the face of Sin.
Oh, and I can hear your stomach rumbling out here. Buddy, that
Sin
gas problem
using
you
all
got.
he's got left, crawling for the ropes. And I don't know where he's getting it. Sin using that prodigious strength that he has. And that amazing heart, that amazing will to win. And I think he's almost to the ropes. Somehow, some way, Sin has found his way to the ropes. He's almost there. Come on, Sin, come on. Don't give up yet. Don't give up yet. No, I think it's too late. He's gonna tap. No! Sin again! And once more, Steve Rivers has got to break the hold for the third. Yes, Ripper counted the third time in this match. And no matter how this ends, you have to take your hat off to Sin.
You got to take your hat off to Steve Rivers. He is the greatest athlete here. I love it. You got to give a guy some respect where it is. Sinner going back to that elbow again.
Rivers ran right into the point of the elbow, and now we've seen this one before.
Oh,
A
split-legged
moonsault,
moonsault.
and that's it. 1, 2. Wait, again. McFly again.
Who let the dogs out again? These guys
And
are
come
brilliant.
on, you know, we need a new commissioner here. They can't just have this happening.
I'm going to take that commissioner job. Some things are going to change around here.
Sin's had this match won 2 or 3 times already.
Sin, you mean Steve Rivers. He could
Rivers
have won
from
this anytime.
And now again a 2-1.
Oh!
What's the ref counting for? That's a disqualification.
He's cutting them a little liberties here with these big heavyweights. I think this ref wants to see a conclusion to this fight.
It might be, and Sin fighting back in a 2-on-1 battle, but he's able to get a momentary advantage there. Rivers and McFly down on their hands and knees on the outside.
They're getting warmed up. Look at this. Sinner, he's playing to the crowd. You should be paying attention out there.
I don't think he's playing to the crowd. I think he's trying to get himself back on his feet after all the punishment he's taken.
I think he's
And wait a minute,
delirious.
Sin's going right back out after him, and wait.
Here it is,
Rivers
Rivers.
from behind. Rivers rolls him up. 1. No. No, he got
Yeah,
it.
it's all over.
Rivers using the ropes.
Ha ha ha, Steve Rivers.
And if I'm Sin, I'm sending a tape of this match to the office. Rivers using the ropes. Rivers making me sick here.
These guys are brilliant. I love it. What a job. My hat's off to him. Congratulations, Rivers. You keep it up. That's what defines these guys in Monster Pro Wrestling.
A not so well-earned victory by Steve Rivers. And yeah, Sin's right to grab that referee. I can't believe. This is totally a travesty. And wait, now, McFly from behind. The American Patriots aren't finished with Sin yet.
They're putting the boots to him now. Come on, Sinner. You should have quit while you were ahead. You could have tapped out 3-4 times in that match, but no. You had to keep grabbing the ropes and trying to save your own butt.
American Patriots showing the sportsmanship for which they're well known, making the referee raise their hand in victory. Rivers got the win, but you got to give the hand to Mad Dog McFly. Give him the assist.
And a tremendous victory.
And come
he
on,
earned
they
that.
won the match.
He
They don't
earned
need
it. He earned it.
They didn't earn anything.
They worked hard for that. That was clear cut. That was straight up. That was fair. That's Monster Pro Wrestling. You
Well-
don't like it? Go wrestle somewhere else.
Well, one way or another, Steve Rivers advances in the tournament, joining Johnny Handsome as well. Earlier tonight, Big Jess advanced, as did Mad Dog McFly in the same ring. We'll take a look at how these semifinalists do.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. We never know what's going to happen around here. They keep me guessing. That's all I know.
Well, there you have it, folks. All-American Steve Rivers and Johnny Handsome advance in the tournament. They'll meet each other in the semifinals, as well in a pair of matches you didn't see. Big Jess and Mad Dog McFly also advancing the tournament. They will meet each other in a couple weeks' time. But for now, let's talk about next week's show, where Knight will be making his very first defense of the junior heavyweight title.
Who's Knight defending against?
He'll be defending against... Do you watch this show? He'll be defending...
What do you mean watch the show? I am the show.
I told you earlier, he'll be meeting Stevie Saint. That match will be coming up next week as well. We've just had this announced now. A very special match. You'll see it here on Madness. A MPW heavyweight title match between Massive Damage, the champion, and Darren the Bomb Dalton. And you know what? It's a first blood match.
Everybody bleeds when they get in the ring with Massive Damage, and I'll tell you that right now. I've watched this guy for years.
Well, we'll certainly see a highlight package of that. Fans, I'm Martial Art McNeil. This is The Ripper. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.